Okay, so we're gonna talk about the Diddy case because I've been following the Diddy case. Eric said something very interesting earlier.
What's that?
What you said that you've been hearing that it might be a mistrial.
I know. Remember we was talking about it last time, and I was just like, I just feel like it's gonna be a mistrial.
I all right, so I follow it daily because we supposed to be talking.
Oh
about
yeah,
it,
and then like let's make sure everything is allegedly.
everything is not no more.
What? And we're not trying to. We just speaking from our point of view. We're not trying to victim shame.
Because after watching different, so I go to different blogs. So I was like, if I'm going to follow it, I need a blog. So this guy, I was following. I was about to say just hilarious. I was following Lauren LaRosa to like try to see her talk about trial, but I'm not saying she's doing a bad job. It's just that she doesn't talk about. It's more of opinion opposed to facts. What's going on in the case? So I found one. It's this guy named Armand Wiggins that actually writes down everything.
Okay.
I
would like to figure out where I heard that because you told me about
yeah,
it.
he writes down the whole, like everything that they're saying. He's at the trial. He writes down everything that they're saying. And there was another one too. I was him with the other lady. She was kind of like boring. So I was like, yeah, he kind of real flamboyant. And he used to be on Fox Soul.
Okay.
He used to be on Fox Soul, and he's great. Like he's great, like explaining everything that happened. And it's like, how this dude, what's they called, stenographers? It's like, how this dude, something like
you talking about the people that be drawing?
Yeah. The people that
that be taking notes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm like, how this dude write down everything that they say in the trial, but he writes down everything they say in the trial. Okay. So, like, listening to the trial, the witnesses are they're very descriptive. Yeah. I know, what's her name? Is her name Cece or Coco or whatever?
I heard about the Punisher.
Yeah, the Punisher, but that's like, when we're talking about, we're trying to hear criminal things. Yeah. Now, with the lady that used to be his assistant, like hearing criminal things that sound very Rico-ish was, her first day at work. Mm-hmm. Imagine your first day at work. They take you they take you out to the park and tell you that, because she used to work for Suge Knight. Okay. They took her out to the park and they said, if you got any affiliation with Suge Knight and I find out anything, I'm going to kill you. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I'm going to unalive you. They said, I'm going to unalive you. She cried the whole time she was talking about what was going on and what happened. She talked a lot about, like a lot of abuse. She talked about abuse with Cassie. She talked about, and then when they were trying to like actually get her to stumble her words or try to say like, you said this or you said that, because they were talking about like she wrote a letter. It was a letter that was written that Puffy did a recommendation letter for her because. Okay. After he fired her, she wasn't able to work anymore, really, because she kind of got blackballed. So they was like, well, why would he write a recommendation letter for you? So they were Puffy's team was trying to get her to be like, well, why would he? They were trying to stump her, but she said no. The letter was when we settled the first time, and I made him write. She said, actually, I wrote the letter, and she said the letter was from like 2012 or something like that, and she said I made him write the letter. She said I wrote the letter. Because I wanted to make sure I was still able to have a job, and they were trying to say the letter was just now, but she was like no, but she cried the whole time. Kid Cudi interview was crazy because a lot of stuff they said, because she said they went to Kid Cudi's house and they chased him, and Kid Cudi didn't say none of that happened. And she said
maybe he wanted to save face.
Yeah, he didn't want to look like a punk.
Yeah.
But she said they went to Kid Cudi's house and they chased him, and she was the one that called Kid Cudi because she was like not trying to be like she's thugging him. She's just like basically like he's with Cassie. He's with Cassie at the time. Yeah. And a lot of stuff that Kid Cudi said kind of got turned sideways, for lack of a better word, because it was kind of like indirect to things she was saying. It doesn't correlate. It doesn't correlate. But this case, I don't know. I know they had the Punisher dude. That was kind of like, to me, that was irrelevant to RICO charges. That's just freaky stuff.
I don't know if we talked about this last time or if we talked about this off camera, but I've had the privilege to sit on two juries. One was a local case and one was a federal case.
You said on a federal trial before?
Yeah, for 3 months.
And you had to go to work.
No, I didn't have to go work.
Can I
But the crazy thing is,
did they pay you?
I got paid, but I got to keep the checks though. I got paid at work. I didn't have to use none of my time, and I got to keep the checks from the court. It was like $300, but still.
Just one time, $300.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I thought you meant $300 a day.
No.
I was about to say I'll be on jury for the rest of my life.
I had to pay for parking though, but I mean,
Yeah.
but anyway, back what I was saying. But it's just like when you're sitting in the jury or whatever, and you're watching this case, because it was imperative that we took notes and everything. What they're doing is, even though some of this stuff might not be related to the case, they're trying to paint a picture for you. Yeah, exactly. So that's what, and a lot of times it works, because me growing up in the inner city, I kind of understood some of the stuff that was going on. And I'm sitting up in the jury with people from like Rocky River and, Avon. And, was it? Yeah. No, it was a county. So, I mean, when you Beechwood and stuff like, Rocky River is these suburban areas that really don't know anything about the inner city, and it's just like as soon as they like, oh, this person has tattoos on their face, so they have to be a thug. So you hear these conversations in the jury room, and you just like, huh? So it actually, some of that stuff actually influenced jury members on how they choose or decide guilty or not guilty. So I mean, I would be surprised if he's found guilty. I think it's going to end up in a mistrial.
Well,
I just think.
Did you see what they did say today? Trump has been hinting that if he has been hinting that if it doesn't,
I wouldn't be surprised by that.
If it doesn't end up in a mistrial, he's been hinting it's tough. This is not alleged.
Yeah,
you could go look. He said if it doesn't end up in a mistrial, he's been hinting about actually just getting rid of it. So he's been hinting about. So I don't think Diddy's going to do any time, even if it's not a mistrial.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It's just
the thing about it is, if he get a mistrial for the federal charges, but are there state charges too? Because you can't actually be president. You can't actually pardon state charges.
Yeah,
you can only pardon like the federal charges.
I mean, at this point, I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't even know how this country is ran. I don't. I guess.
Because what's McCall ain't getting out?
Who? Larry Hoover?
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, because he got state charges too.
But
so he got like 200 years left.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just don't. I can't say honestly. It's just, hey, if you got money or you have some type of influence, I guess you could, if you do whatever, you get away and get pardoned for whatever. I guess that's the way it goes nowadays.
Yeah, money talks.
Yeah.
So you have anything else to say about it? It's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I put something up on TikTok and I ended up taking it down because I didn't want to argue with nobody. About it.
That's
it's just like,
that's funny.
Good, why?
Because today, and I was telling a friend of mine, I put something on Facebook today, and you always talk about the people that follow me on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I put something on Facebook today. I was like, I don't feel like arguing with niggas. I don't know. People I don't know.
Yeah.
I put on Facebook, I said, name 5 Will Smith.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
Name five good Will Smith songs.
Yeah.
And I said, go. And I'm not saying Will Smith don't have good songs.
Yeah.
I'm just saying name 5 of them.
Yeah.
And then one dude wrote, that's very easy to do. Why would you ask this question? Because he's trying to argue. Like,
yeah.
I don't know you.
Yeah.
I said we got a lot of friends in common, but I don't mean you're a friend of mine.
But I mean, how can you pick out what context or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
or how could you tell me what I like?
Yeah, like, I don't want to make it. Okay, I took this down because maybe I could see we're just kind of being insensitive, and I wasn't trying to victim shame. But all I said is, like, because when the trial was going on and stuff was getting revealed about Cassie, how her husband had to get up and leave. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, man, like, how would you feel if you was her husband and you just found out this information and everything? I'm like, do you think that she told him everything?
So did you take it down because you saw bad comments?
Because some chick was like, "Oh, she was."
You should have kept it up.
I was just like, but I was like, no. I was like, you know what? No, I don't, because I don't want to. I don't want to be arguing with women. I don't want to. You know what I'm saying?
It's not even about arguing.
Yeah.
You should kept it.
I should. You know what? I should.
What did they tell us? They said that because it would have went viral probably.
Yeah.
And you don't live up to respond.
Yeah, I should have, but then I didn't want to look like I'm like victim shaming. But I'm just saying, I just feel like a lot of that stuff that came out in court, she probably didn't tell them.
Yeah, that's not victim shaming. That's just being real to the situation because people get in relationships and nobody tells everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Thing that went on to them. That's not victim blaming. That's just saying that you don't tell everybody like everything that when you're in a relationship, like they're like, oh, that's my best friend. That's my because it's like cause that's why people that's in relationships still talk to other people outside their relationship because they got friends because they're like the friend probably know a different side of them opposed to what their partner. Your partner will know a lot about you and know, but there's kind of like there's certain things that people, not saying that everybody, but a lot of times people keep certain things away from them.
Yeah, because I'm like one of the type of people. It's like I can only take so much. I could take a discussion. But like when you start calling me out my name,
oh, she was.
Yeah, she called me. She said something about. She left a comment talking about he knew all of this before when he married her and all this. And I'm thinking like, how do you know what he knew? And she was like, I see this trial is bringing out all the deplorable men.
But you are pretty deplorable.
Yeah, so I was just like, man, let me take this time before I call this not her name.
And then you would have been,
you know what I'm saying? And I ain't even like that.
I feel like you should have kept it up though, because it would have made her look real stupid. Because it's an opinion. It was not victim blaming.
Yeah, I don't, and that's I hate that. That's why I'm kind of like hesitant to put certain stuff on social media because it's like I can have a conversation with people without name calling. And a lot of people that, are grown up or act like they're mature, they want a name call without having, a conversation.
I think that a lot of times too, people on social media, they don't allow you rational ways to look at things because they feel like if you're allowed a rational way to look at something, they start making it about sex. They start making it about their identity. They start making it about who the hell they are. But it's like, nah, it's just rational to like human beings. Yeah. Like, yeah, she didn't tell him everything that she did. Yeah. These are some crazy stuff that a human being, if it was a guy that did the stuff she did, it still would have been crazy. Yeah. If it was a woman, if it was a giraffe that did the stuff, but they feel like, well, a woman is docile, the man has more control, the man has more power. But yeah, we understand that. It's not people are not saying she's a bad person because she did these things. We're saying that, wow, human beings are going to judge. Yeah. So her husband is going to judge her based on those things. Because she would judge him based on those things.
But I'm looking at myself as well, and I've had relationships with people, and I've had, you know what I'm saying? And there's been stuff that I've done that the other person in the relationship don't need to know.
And don't you judge yourself based on certain things that you've done that you like. You like. Don't. The thing is, we have shame and we have pride and we have that feeling to make us not want to do those things again, right?
Yeah. And I'm not shaming her, and I hate to bring this up, but it was a part in the trial when they was talking about like urinating and stuff like that. Like, I can't sit up, and I'm just being like me. I'm not gonna sit up there and tell my partner like, hey, back in the day, I used to have somebody urinate. You know what I'm saying? On me. That's like something that if you did that with a person, you just leave that in the past. It ain't something, because you don't expect for it to come out in the open.
Some people just tell their business though too. I was at the barbershop today, and there was one dude, like, he was over the next seat. He was talking about how, with his baby mama, and then he was talking about, this chick that he was messing with, but he couldn't get gun ho. Yeah. And it's like, man, we don't want to hear that mess. In here, like, it's kind of like, he was like, I couldn't, it was like, dude, like, why are you here telling us that? Yeah. You definitely in your 20s, so that sounds like you got a drug problem. So, but it was, huh?
Nothing. I wasn't nothing else, man.
Yeah, but it was just weird. Some people don't really care about telling the stuff that's going on. And that's why I said that some people will tell their partner everything.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But then a lot of people won't.
And even depending on how strong of a person you are, even though you tell your partner everything, your partner don't expect for everybody in the world to know.
Right. Because because that make them feel like, oh,
yeah. So it's just like, okay, you told me that, but now what you told me in private, now everybody know.
Well, they are millionaires, so she could cry with money, wiping her tears. But if she is, with her being a victim, I do empathize with that, and I understand that nobody's victim blaming her. We're just talking about a real life situation. Something happened, and we know how people think, and we know people scorn people based on these things, and we know people gonna have feelings based on, because the thing is, we all look at sex, and well, yeah, we can say that. We all look at sex as something that have like a nasty place to it. So we all like, judge people based on those things. That's been the way like that since Adam and Eve, and they realized in the Garden of Eden that they were naked. Mm-hmm. That's when it all started. So
it's doing biblical.
Because ever since we realized that we were not clothed, and we put clothes on, and we're not. This is not, a part of us not supposed to be shown. You know what I'm saying? And we realize that this is a kept private part of ourselves. So that's why it's going to be a little bit of feeling of shame when we talk about those things. Yeah. Everybody's not a voyeur. All right, so we're going to come back and talk about the next topic.